Magnolia trees are some of the most popular ornamental shade trees in central Illinois. And here now with the dirt on a common insect pest that is on the rise, and it may affect your magnolias. U of I Extension horticulture educator Ryan Pankow. Ryan, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're talking about the Magnolia Scale, which this is news to me. I've not heard of it before.
Yeah, this is an insect pest of magnolias. Probably, you know, for the most part, they're really resilient trees, but this is one of the few things that affects them. And it's something I'm just getting more and more reports of every year. So I think it's something folks that have magnolia trees need to kind of be aware about.
Okay, so this is something you haven't seen maybe in years past as much, and it's becoming more of a problem?
Yeah, especially last summer and this summer. I mean, I've had a lot of calls about it, and a lot of folks reporting it and noticing it. And when it gets to be noticeable to your average homeowner, then it's becoming a problem for tree health. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what it is, because maybe folks out there haven't seen them yet.
Sure. Well, we've got some pictures of it, too, and a little sample here. But it's actually an insect it's a scale insect, a soft scale. Some scales are hard scales, and have a harder shell that they put on. But as you can see, it's kind of a cottony, soft, protective layer that you're seeing there, and the insect is actually really tiny and inside there. So
it almost looks like it's part of the branch.
It does.
Like we have this example here, and if I turn it around, is that what I'm looking at here on the backs?
Yeah, that's what all these little white dots are. And a lot of times folks confuse these for the buds on the tree, and this isn't a super bad infection. Some of those pictures I was showing, there was clusters of them where you can see there's actually kind of one at each branch node on this twig. And so this time of year, these are female adults that are about ready to release hundreds of little crawlers.
Oh my goodness.
Little babies.
Everywhere to go and get all over your tree and your neighbor's trees. So now is the time to start looking for them, I'm assuming.
Yeah, now's the time to start looking for them. If you just have a few on a few twigs, it's really not, it may not affect your tree's health that much. It's these worse, really bad infections that we want to try and do something about. They're actually, if you don't have too bad of an infection, if you can reach your tree, as you can see there, they're really easy to pick off. That's me just kind of flipping them off the twig as I encountered them. Another great way to do this is if you have a pretty steady stream of water. Now, you don't want a power washer that's going to break the bark, but just with a really steady, like kind of concentrated garden hose nozzle, you can knock most of these off the limbs by spraying.
Kind of rinse off right down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so then that prevents the adults from laying the eggs, the babies from overwintering, and you having a big problem next year.
Awesome. So this is a thing that kind of potentially builds up over time if you don't deal with it now.
Yeah, and as your tree's health goes down from feeding, they actually feed on the sap, you know, they tend to overcome a lot of the tree defenses and get worse and worse. So it's not, don't freak out if you have some Magnolia Scale. We're seeing it on just lots of trees this year, but you want to stop it before it gets to be just an all-out infestation.
Can I try it myself?
Sure.
So if this was in my yard, I just was watching your video and you were just kind of picking them off?
Yep, just kind of knocking them off there.
Knocking them off just like that.
And, you know, I've been kind of watching these the last few weeks. At some point here, those crawlers will emerge, and you'll actually be able to see a whole bunch of those little babies, little specks underneath each one of these scales that you knock off. So
interesting.
We don't actually have the crawlers actively out yet, as far as I can tell from the specimens I've looked at.
Okay.
But soon.
So it's a growing problem. Now is the time to start paying attention to it, because you don't want those crawlers to hatch and create a bigger problem down the road. And treatment's fairly easy. You don't have to use pesticides. You can use your fingers or the hose.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can just manually remove these guys. So it is one of those like tree pests that is kind of solvable on your own. I love this kind of story about something you can fix.
Something you can't. I like those kinds of problems. Something that I can fix, and you can too. All right, to connect with the University of Illinois Extension and learn more about magnolias, we're going to connect you over on our website at ciLiving.tv.